This is the fourth turning. There is going to be a youth political uprising. It's probably going to be Democrat socialist, but the right has a chance to carry it. But they have to understand what the movement wants. They do not want traditional conservatism. So, are we winning? It feels like this meme, I'm trying to push a boulder up the hill. Probably read 300 DMs over the last couple of days. I've talked to countless people behind the scenes, really trying to understand what the is going on. Who's advising? Who's advising these people? And I still don't really have an answer. I know a lot more about the Republican Party. It's corrupt, completely 100% bought and paid for by industry, completely and 100% almost everybody at every level of the local, state, and county parties are basically the people who have just figured out how to maximize the amount of graft. That's really what it comes down. There are good people. There are good people, but you know what? They've been in the movements. They're getting just overwhelmingly cynical about it. They're tired. They're tired, boss. They can't do this. And there's no help from the top at all. There's nowhere for them to go. And I made a plan. I think I covered it in the video. I made a plan for the Republican Party how to fix itself. It's going to take outside donor money. It's going to take a shadow organization. I talked to somebody the last couple of days who's trying to launch one of those in a state. Hopefully there can be a central nationalized structure. I would love to help them do research so that they don't use the same Republican pollsters that lie. Remember that big soda thing? Republican pollsters lie to help big business steal corporate welfare. Now let's look at the polling. Donald Trump job approval, we have him at -8 today. The index is at -11. And yep, it blew out. But it's important to note when this blew out. It didn't blow out when the government shut down, which was here. In fact, his approval rating went up as the government was shut down. There were some reasons for that. There was some stuff overseas happening. But people didn't care about the shutdown. People cared that after a month, we had no plan for the shutdown, and then Snap got pulled right in front of an election. And look what happened. Donald Trump's approval, it's like all at once. People are like, what's going to happen here? Oh, the Republicans suck. That's what happened. Donald Trump's approval takes a hit. Unbelievable. Direction of country, -20 right now. I forget what my wrong direction is, but right track is now at 37%, the lowest we've had of Trump's second term. It keeps dropping now. Then there was like 50-year mortgages. And it's weird because they kind of expected this to be like a win. American businessman Bill Pulte, again, another super rich guy from industry. This guy doesn't want house prices to go down. It's bad for his business. He can't sell his houses for as much if there's a housing market collapse. So in my opinion, Trump is losing the youth. We've seen it. I've showed it. He was 60% approval back in February, back with Doge. And now he's 35% with voters under 30. What would be the best thing for voters under 30 is a collapse of the housing market. But it would be the worst thing for boomers who own most of the houses, and it would be the worst thing for the housing industry. It would be bad for banks too. So what's best for the new ascendant voter, the voter under 50 that's been screwed, who is about to become like the majority voter soon? Boomers are going to die off. Gen X is kind of like not really on the playing field. You're going to see a coalition of younger X's, millennials, and Zoomers coalesce around economic populism. And it's either going to be Mamdani or an anti-corporatist right. And you can't have an anti-corporatist right when you have Bill Pulte going to Trump and recommending a 50-year mortgage. Like, just look at this. He apparently brought this poster to Trump. We're going to be Roosevelt and expand credit to 50 years. Trump immediately posted the image to social media 10 minutes later. He didn't understand how this would be perceived. And here. On Saturday evening, Pulte arrived at the President Donald Trump's Palm Beach Golf Club with a roughly 3x5 poster board in hand. A graphic of former President Franklin Roosevelt appeared below 30-year mortgage. And also, it's like economic populism. We probably don't want the kind that FDR had. That's kind of the kind that Mamdani's going to have. You should probably have like an anti-redistributionist method of economic populism. Yeah, that's the one that goes after the oligarchy, that one. The left is going to be hand in glove with the corporate oligarchy. and one below Trump of 50-year mortgage. The headline was Great American Presidents. Roughly 10 minutes later, Trump posted the image to True Social, according to one of the people familiar who was with the president at the time. Almost immediately, aides were fielding angry phone calls from those who thought the idea, which would endorse a 50-year payback period for a mortgage, was both bad politics and bad policy, a move that could raise housing costs in the long run. So now I guarantee you've heard some arguments. And I'm not being ageist, but I'm saying that the kind of arguments that you're going to hear from people who are older are like, well, you could put that extra income away, young man, and pay down your mortgage earlier. Or, this is just like, oh, you can refinance, or, you'll be able to afford more house. And like literally like boomer arguments. When what the youth will see this as, I'm not paying any principal. I'm basically renting my house from the bank. I now am a debt serf for most of my life, for 50 years. And what happens with this mortgage? You transfer a heck of a lot more interest over the life of the loan to the banks. You keep housing prices high. In fact, this does not affect supply. It only affects demand. What happens when you increase demand, but do not increase supply? Oh, he's going to increase supply. Okay, what are their plans? They didn't tell us anything. They came out there with a juice demand solution that does not work in economics. You're going to jack up the prices. Then the boomer argument is, well, you don't have to use the 50-year mortgage. You can use the 30-year mortgage. Well, okay, first, the Zoomers can't afford a 30-year mortgage. Second off, they don't have the excess money to pay down more principal. And third off, even if they stick with a 30-year mortgage, who are they bidding against? They're bidding against older people who are using 50-year mortgages now and can afford more house. And the interest rate's going to go up, higher credit risk. And guess what? The government-sponsored entities that we all chip into are going to be backing these things. Wall Street's going to make a fortune on repackaging this. The government will probably be able to lend more debt because we have a new asset class of treasury. It's complete bankster Ponzi BS. And Trump immediately brought it to the world. Immediately. I mean, and this is like, I just randomly grabbed this one. Bill Pulte needs to resign in disgrace. This 50-year mortgage only enriches his family's home construction company and the banks that carry the loans. Could you get a bigger conflict of interest? You see the trend? Do you see the trend here? USDA, conflict of interest. Whatever this guy's in, FHA, conflict of interest. Probably a lot of conflicts of interest in the health one. I haven't heard from RFK, but I don't see a lot of work. We've reported on the vaccine safety stuff a lot. Haven't heard anything about that. Did you know that Pfizer made $74 billion in profit overall since that they've released the vaccine? Oh, well, they have immunity because of Operation Warp Speed. Okay, then. Okay, that's it. Done. That's it. We're not going to examine how that happened. We're not actually going to uncover anything. We wouldn't want to risk any instability in the market. There is no way to fix these problems without instability. I'm sorry. There's just not. I'm sorry. There's been generational wealth transfer from the young working people to the older people enabled by a demographic explosion. The music's running out. The corporate oligarchy grifted too close to the sun. They maximized rent seeking to the point that the kids do not have a future. And they're mad. They are going to push back on Trump now. These were Trump's biggest supporters. All of them are mad? No. A lot of people will still come out and vote MAGA no matter who. But you're not going to have that big tent, and you need the big tent because the Democrats will turn out no matter what. All caveated on apparently there's stuff going on with election integrity. But I mean, like, this is the problem with that speech, that interview with Laura Ingraham on Fox. This is the fourth turning. There is going to be a youth political uprising. It's probably going to be Democrat socialist, but the right has a chance to carry it. But they have to understand what the movement wants. They do not want traditional conservatism. You could say, oh, well, we'll keep our traditional conservative values and continue to lose in Washington, D.C. That's a good excuse to enrich yourselves. But that's it. Like, your party is going to die. You're going to get 55 million votes. We're going to have Mondami in there. There's going to be a $20 trillion housing rescue bill. Blackstone's going to buy all the houses. Bill Pulte's going to build them for the Democrats. The worst thing Trump could do at the very brink of the end of the fourth turning is to reveal himself as an out of touch boomer, because the fourth turning pattern tells us that the boomers overwhelmingly control government because they flourish and they defined a very strict set of values. The boomer arguments are all about values. Well, Israel's our greatest ally. That's a value, right? The millennials, the hero generation, are the heroes. They care about pragmatism. They will build a new set of values after they fix the problems of the generations that they perceived wrecked everything. And, again, I'm not getting into the ageist thing. And you can absolutely be a boomer that thinks like a zoomer. You can be a zoomer that thinks like a boomer. We're talking about generational trends, not age discrimination. Like on average, these people think a very different way. They think of America as a light to the world superpower, economic superpower that beat all the evil people in the world and needs to project democracy and strength to the rest of the world. And that's not how the young people see it. They say protectionism. It's enough. We need to fix our stuff at home. Those are two clashing values. Guess which one is going to win? Might be this year, might be in 5 years, might be in 10 years, but protectionism is going to win 100%. The youth are going to turn on NATO eventually, or they're going to usher us into the UN because of Mamdani. It's going to be one of the two. So you see, there has to be a competing alternative to the left. It's like the horseshoe theory. It's completely changed. Everything's changed. So I don't know where this is going, but Trump cannot be an out of touch boomer. If he literally had Barron Trump as his chief of staff, we might be better off.